As the sun sets in Clemson, Tiger Band on the field at halftime. Their team down 17, though, to Florida State at intermission. ABC Sports presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Choose road. Validating tires.
BF Goodrich tires with traction advantage.
Approved.
For control you can feel and see. BF Goodrich tires. Take control.
Here in Italy, there's a place where the chicken marsala is so good you never forget it. And now Chef Neri has taught our Olive Garden chefs the secrets of her recipe so they can make it for you tonight. Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
Change for $1.
Sure. Introducing the all-new Chevy Avalanche. The only vehicle that changes from an SUV to a pickup.
Thanks.
Chevy Avalanche. Like a rock.
Oh, yes, chilly old November is now the hottest month of the year on Sprint City. Will she be Mrs. Farrah Fawcett Mayor? What is Paul doing for Queen Latifah? And with Denise Richards, things are getting hot, hotter, and downright steamy. 1 hour Spin City kicks it all off at a special time, ABC Tuesday, 8/7 Central.
The 2002 Mitsubishi Eclipse. Right now, pay zero down, zero interest, and zero payments till 2003.
Brick homes have the strength to retain their beauty, season after season. That's the beauty of brick. A good rinse from time to time will maintain the long-lasting beauty of your brick home. And just let it dry. That's the beauty of brick.
Never forget who's at the other end of the line. Florida Power.
This is ABC News Channel 27.
Halftime on the road. Number 14 Florida State leading by 17 over the Clemson Tigers. We welcome you back to Death Valley Memorial Stadium. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy along with you. Big difference in the ballgame, about 100 yards difference in passing. And Chris Ricks over Woody Dantzler. Woody Dantzler, no touchdown passes yet.
Very impressed with Chris Ricks coming into a Death Valley, a hostile environment, noise, crown field, tough field to throw on. They've scored on 5 of their last 6 possessions, and Dantzler has not played well against Florida State in the past, and it continues to have a tough day. A lot of teams, a lot of quarterbacks have had tough times against Florida State defensively.
There's the numbers, 99 rushing yards for Clemson. Remember, did a lot of that in the last drive. There's the almost 140 yards difference in passing. Total yardage very close, but those touchdown passes of Ricks, 2 to Javon Walker, 1 to Tallman Gardner. And that's where we stand. That and a Punterewski that was taken back due to a penalty, negated a 61-yard touchdown that would have made this a 3-point game. And that was a big turnaround.
These fans are still talking about that. Outside the booth at halftime, everybody was talking about it.
We're going to be talking about it next Friday still. Rafonso Thorpe will take a knee 5 yards deep in the end zone. And our Morgan Stanley well-connected storyline so far. There's the numbers. Chris Ricks that we were talking about. 3 touchdowns. And Javon Walker, 5 catches for 150 and 2. Woody Dantzler held to 100 yards and an interception. And that fake punt that was called back. Dantzler has scored on the ground from a couple yards out.
Well, getting back to that fake punt, let's just hope that the officials were right on the call, because it will be reviewed by Clemson coaches tonight. I guarantee you.
No doubt about it. First down, Florida State from the 20. And it's Jones, and he's hitting the backfield. Broke off that tackle. Penalty markers down. And on top of losing a couple yards, probably a holding in the mix somewhere. Bryant McNeil and Khalid Vaughn finally corralled him after he bounced off a couple guys.
Vaughn hit him from the blind side. Jones didn't see him coming, and he didn't knock him down.
I told you, he was a load.
5-yard face mask on the defense, 5-yard penalty.
All right, this goes against Clemson. So that was near the end of the play, so they get 5 yards out of it. Reggie Herring says, I want you to be aggressive on the opening snaps of the third quarter, guys, but don't grab any headgear. That doesn't help. Walker and Bell, the wideouts, and Mader, the fullback, joining Jones in the backfield. It'll be Jones. Doug hit again. This Thomas has him this time wrapped up. They lost the yards they got back. Rodney Thomas, the junior linebacker. Let's check in with Lynn Swan.
Well, thank you, Brett. I'm here with Ann Bowden, and I want to tell you what your son and your husband said. Okay. Tommy said, coming back, very disappointed they didn't get that touchdown. Very proud of the way that his team came back. Yeah. He plans to do more of that to your husband in the second half.
So what did my husband say?
I'll tell you after this play.
Oh, you said him.
Second down and 10. We're going back to Swanee and Ann in a second here. It's a quick out to Bell, and Atruz dropped at the 29. Lynn?
Well, your husband said he was trying to tell everybody that they were going to run a trick play, but he just didn't know which direction he was going in. He said this is the first game they've won a coin toss, and the third quarter has always been bad for your football team.
Well, we figured that was a good sign. He won the coin toss.
All right, and so he says he gets the ball back. What they've got to do is drive down the field and show that they're a tough football team in the third quarter where they've lost most of their games.
Oh, is that right? Who? We, us?
Florida State.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. You didn't tell Bobby that the sun had gone down, did you?
No, I didn't.
Here's a pass complete out to PK Sam. Hoping that the sun doesn't go completely down on the Tigers right now. That's what the Clemson fans are hoping for. Sam picked up 8 yards on the catch.
Florida State not only scoring on 5 of their last 6 possessions in the first half, but a lot of big plays. 8 plays of 20 yards or more.
First down here from the 36. Here's the play action. And Ricks comes up firing. And they put that one right where it had to be, but Sam didn't hold it. Incomplete with Ryan Mance back there covering. Ricks has been very accurate today, even on the passes that weren't completed.
It's a freshman, PK Sam, getting some playing time. That was a bad throw, but I think the timing with the young freshman receiver. That was 7 out of 10 on first down. Passing, 157 yards, 3 touchdowns. Always a good time to throw.
Second down and 10 now. Here comes a blitz. Ricks may not have time. Carson got him. Chad Carson.
I think to get back in this ball game, Clemson's going to have to blitz and get some turnovers and create some positive field position for their offense. Carson, nobody touched him. The leading tackler.
Senior out of Newnan, Georgia.
Rhodes Scholar candidate.
Rhodes Scholar candidate. The NFL still in his future as well. Came up with a big stop there. Just 2 wideouts now. Thorpe and Walker. On 3rd and 23. Ricks loads and fires. And a catch by Thorpe at the 38-yard line. That was just a jump ball, and he out-jumped Kevin Johnson.
You got to hand it to Jeff Bowden on this. Top of the screen. Watch the way this true freshman, Thorpe, is number 1. Just got there about a month and a half ago. Watch the way he looks for the ball, finds the ball, and goes up and takes it away from the defensive back. Jeff Bowden, the receivers coach, teaches these guys, teaches the quarterback, if it's one-on-one, throw it up. Our guy will go up and protect you from the interception and will try and make the catch.
Here's Jones now running inside. Broke a tackle inside the 30. Greg Jones down the sideline. Gives a mouthful to Kevin Johnson. And it's going to be very close to the 10. Might even be first and goal. And Jones rips off 27.
I'm very impressed with Florida State. We've seen them, I think, 4 times this year. We saw them in their 2 losses to Miami and North Carolina. This team is growing up. These young players, they lost 16 starters from last year's ball club. This team was very young, a lot of new starters. The defense is growing up, Ricks is growing up, and the receivers are catching on.
They're chewing things up on first down. Here's another first down just outside the 10, and Jones just won't go down. You can't arm tackle this guy. Again, he's playing in his home state, and he's making a name for himself this afternoon. Tough running by Jones.
He is so different than Maddox. Maddox is much smaller, only 200. Jones is 245 pounds. He's a big back.
He got 5 more. They can get a first down inside the 1. Second down and 5. Jeff Bowden looking on. Florida State leading by 17.
You got single coverage down here to the bottom of the field if you want it.
They'll keep it on the ground. Only about a yard pickup this time as Rodney Thomas brings Jones down. So Greg slow to get up after that tough 60th yard of the ball game.
Not only is this Florida State team getting better this year, as Jones is kind of limping off, and that's what they always preach: get better each week, better each week. But a lot of these guys are coming back next year. The entire offensive line are juniors. They'll all be back. Of course, Ricks will be back. A lot of the receivers, they'll get 2 of their injured receivers, Bolden and Morgan, back.
Ricks loves Tallman Gardner on a slant in this situation. He wanted it there, I think, and he got it. Touchdown.
He got a flag, too.
Flag down.
Yeah. The flag's going to be on Clemson for holding.
If the play stands, it's a 4-yard touchdown pass to Tallman Gardner. The man in the white cap will let you know. Jeff Bowden's already sending out his
holding,
extra point team.
Decline, touchdown.
It is a touchdown. Nice adjustment made by Gardner. I think they wanted to throw that slant, Bob.
I think he made a nice call, partner.
He broke off that, but Ricks bought himself a little extra time and hooks up with his favorite receiver again. 4th touchdown pass of the day for Ricks. Bethia in for the point after. He's got it, and it's 34-10. Ricks the double pump. Gardner his second touchdown. It's 34-10.
After the new Chevy Trailblazer, everything else just seems kind of weak. The all-new 270 horsepower Chevy Trailblazer, like a rock.
It's not for sale. No.
Some things are just too good to let go of. That's why there's Valvoline Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. Max Life conditions use seals to help prevent leaks and helps you hold on to your car for a long, long time.
Don't even think about it.
Valvoline Max Life.
Elway nothing, and I like John, but my 7-year-old could have scored against that soft coverage.
You're saying Elway went 98 yards because the Browns played to prevent defense?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Sterling, I don't think so.
I played in the game. It was a great drive. Why you dissing Elway anyway?
No reason. But what are you going to do about it? Come on, won't you cry about it? Come on.
Sterling, do it again.
NFL Countdown, Sundays, 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
You're looking for one person. One person who can point to solutions instead of pointing fingers. I'm Dell Enterprise, servers, storage, and premier services. And when they build me, they build a central knowledge base. So I not only have one person with all the answers, I have thousands. Premier Enterprise Services. Total accountability on site, online, and on the phone. Easy as Dell. Dell PowerEdge servers use Intel Pentium 3 Xeon processors.
Miami, Boston College, or Texas A&M, Oklahoma, next Saturday on ABC.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Man coverage on the 2 wide receivers. Let me show you what they're out there on. They're going to cross. Anytime you have man coverage down in that area of the field and the 2 receivers cross, it creates a problem. The outside guy was open more than the inside guy, but you're right. They threw the slant to Gardner.
Joe down to Reeves on the kick return. Out across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Florida State in command right now with 9:48 remaining third quarter.
Want a job that makes you happy? Post your resume now. Monster.com.
You the monster.
Hey, you want to switch?
Sure. Introducing the all-new Chevy Avalanche. The only vehicle that switches from an SUV to a pickup.
Good idea.
Chevy Avalanche. Like a rock.
34-10. Florida State in front with 9:48 to go in the third quarter. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan, and our ABC crew from Death Valley, where we had a close game earlier. There's Rick Stockstill, the quarterback coach, getting the word down from Brad Scott, the offensive coordinator. Actually, Rick's a wide receiver coach. Michael Cain's quarterback coach. And Woody Dantzler working as almost always out of that shotgun. Here's the inside handoff and a big run again. It's been Rambert who's done a nice job. Let's see what Woody Dantzler has going through his mind between plays.
Well, end of the play. First thing to do, look to the sideline, get the formation, get that called out, get everybody hurried up to the line. And after that, you look back over, you get the play. And then we call the play out. And everybody gets set, check the defense, get a little pre-snap read, and try to figure out if that's the play we want to stay in. And if I see something that I don't think we need to run that play, and I look back to the sideline to make sure, and they'll tell me either to stay with the play or they'll check out of it.
That one he'd like to have gotten out of because Womble let him have it as he let go of the pass.
Again, this is a no huddle. They never huddle. It's a kind of a fast-paced thing. Everybody looks over to the sideline to Stockstill to get the play. The clock is rolling. They could snap the ball right now, and with 15 seconds left on the clock.
Knowing time is of the essence, they probably won't use as much time anymore, and they try to go straight ahead with Rambert, and that's shut off by Alonzo Jackson. Maybe got a yard.
Right now he looks over. Everybody's looking over. There's a sign. He's talking to Brad Scott in the press box for the play.
Brad, long-time assistant coach at Florida State before becoming head coach at South Carolina, and now the offensive coordinator here at Clemson. Again, part of that interwoven mix of Florida State and Clemson, folks. A lot of blood and a lot of family and a lot of sweat and tears going on. Dantzler Deep middle, overshot everybody. Hamilton, I guess, was his intended receiver. He threw that thing 5 yards over his head.
Miscommunication there. Hamilton stopped running, and Dantzler thought he was going to continue.
And the bad part about going without a huddle is in about 1 minute, they just went 3 and out.
Your defense, if you don't move the ball and you go 3 and out, your defense doesn't like it at all.
And their tongues are still hanging out from last time they were on the field. Cop to punt. Robinson with a fair catch. Taken at about the 22-yard line. 40-yard kick and no return. We'll return in a moment. 8:34 remaining third quarter.
How can you provide for the future of the people who depend on you? With the power of Pacific Life. For over 130 years, Pacific Life has improved the lives of millions with investments, annuities, and insurance. Because careful planning today can help them reach their dreams tomorrow. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
Hello? Hello?
The power of cheese.
Here in Italy, there's a place where the chicken marsala is so good you never forget it. And now Chef Neri has taught our Olive Garden chefs the secrets of her recipe so they can make it for you tonight. Olive Garden, when you're here, you're family.
Every time you use your Discover card, Discover will make a donation to America's relief efforts until we reach our goal of $5 million. Just by doing what you do every day, you can help the victims and families of September 11th. To find out more, call 1-800-DISCOVER or go to discovercard.com.
Americans have places to go, things to do, so they go Midas. Alignment, we do that. Air conditioning, we do that. Brakes, we do that. So for total car care by certified technicians, who does it all? Midas, we do that.
ABC Sunday, Daddy's got some explaining to do.
I think we have them all.
She's searching for the truth in a web of lies.
I'm gonna make you pay.
A new Alias, ABC Sunday, 9/8 Central.
Florida State begins first and 10 of the 23.
Want to talk about balance offensively? How about those numbers?
That's pretty good. That's what every offensive coordinator strives for.
And when things are going right for your passing attack, your ground game works and vice versa. It's been both working as Ricks is going on top to Truce Bell. Broken up beautifully by Brian Mance. Let's check in Times Square Stadium in New York. John Saunders standing by. John?
Brad, the Burger King update, and this is how Notre Dame's season has gone. This is 4th and goal. Tennessee decides to go for it with a 3-point lead. Casey Clausen, though, fools everyone. They do get the touchdown. Good call by Coach Philip Fulmer. And Notre Dame falls to 3-6.
Oh, boy. Bob Davies going to have to listen to all of that now.
I got to get an easier schedule.
2nd and 10. Ricks play action. Zips it out complete. First down catch to Truce Bell, who we went too deep on the previous play.
You remember when Notre Dame was playing an easier schedule back in the old days? They'd play all the service academies.
Right,
Tackled by number 27, Kevin Johnson.
And now they're playing Nebraska and Tennessee and some of the Big Ten schools, Michigan and Michigan State, and,
Nebraska,
Oklahoma.
Yeah, everybody. Michigan State and Michigan, we understand, tied at 17. Some of you will be going to that game as we go through the second half from Clemson. Downfield, Tolman Gardner, and that was just a bullet from Chris Ricks. He didn't hit him in stride, but it's 30 more yards. That one got there in a hurry.
Well, what we got is easy pickings for Chris Ricks in the offense. Number 3 is Meekins. He's in the middle of the field going to the other side. He needs to be in the center of the field helping Mance, number 2. They're running post, deep post, and there's nobody back there to help the corners.
2 receivers over 100 yards now. Gardner and Walker. First down. Pick up a 30 on the last play, and now it's Eric Shelton. Shelton getting some work. A freshman out of Lexington, Kentucky. And he picked up about 4. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road. Morgan Stanley, formerly Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Move your money, get well connected. And Dell, enterprise systems that are easy to build, easy to own, easy as Dell. Right now it's been easy as Dell for Chris Ricks.
341 yards on the day, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception.
3 300-yard games now. End around coming. Oh, fumbled. And trying to scoop it up. Will they get it? They do cover it. Nick Maddox.
Maddox got a little fancy with the handoff there.
He and Crefonzo Thorpe, that wouldn't be a great baton exchange if they were a relay team.
That was not the way I'm sure they practice it. He kind of held on to it, and then at the very last minute just kind of put it out there. Take a look.
Way out. Whoops.
It looked like it slipped out of his hand.
Thorpe didn't look like he wanted any part of it. Maybe Nick was supposed to keep it, and that fake just got away from him. I don't know. 3rd down at 21 at any rate. 3rd down and long has not been a big problem for Chris Ricks. Watch today. This time he may have to run for it, though, and that's a long ways to that stick. And he's willing to take a shot to try to get there. Flag down near the end of the play as Hafley made the tackle short of the first down. Chris got about 13 before they drag him down.
Brad, that might be on Natru's Bell, number 26. He was trying to come back and block for his quarterback. It looked like he may have just pushed him in the back.
And you are so correct, Mr. Swan. Jim Knight, you could just read his lips. He said he pushed him. Here it is. That's what Swanee was talking about.
Don't do it now. Don't do it.
Oh, boy, tried to get in front of his shoulder.
Tried to get his shoulder around the front.
What he could do is, if he's in that situation, if he just slides down like it's a screen, like he's a basketball player, just slide his feet parallel down past the guy so he can't actually come into the quarterback, that might have been the way to go, especially when his back's to him.
Couldn't quite get to the spot he wanted to, and so it is 4th down and long. And that's going to bring out Gwaltney to punt. Hasn't been a very busy punter today. Hasn't had 2. Had 1 earlier.
If Bobby's got any tricks on Tommy, this is a good time to run it because you get great field position.
Just hang up a wobbler, and it's going to be fielded at the 12. Didn't gain him too much. 22-yard punt. Clemson will get the ball back on offense after we check in. Times Square Stadium in New York. And John.
Brad, as you know, Michigan, the only team in the Big Ten without a conference loss, but at Michigan State today, Dave Rayner with a 27-yard field goal ties the game at 17 apiece. Remember, Illinois beat Purdue earlier today. They're still in the hunt. Michigan State trying to creep up as well.
But Michigan would still have an advantage because they'll both only have 1 loss now, but Michigan beat Illinois.
Clemson trying to avoid another ACC loss here, but they got a long ways to go and not much time to get there. Lofted out. Winner, the tight end makes the catch. Got a first down, run out of bounds. We're down to 5:29 though.
All right, partner, I got a question for you. You're up 34-10 on your son.
Yep.
You're ahead 34-10, Bobby over Tommy, and your mother, your wife, and the mother of your son on the other side is sitting in the stands.
I don't see any backup players on defense, if that's a question you're asking me.
Well, I know last year he didn't take any mercy.
No, he did not.
He may have cut
almost 800 yards and a 54-7.
I wonder what he heard from Ann when he went home that night.
Well, I know one thing. Bobby has said the one guy in the family that didn't like getting a spanking was Tommy.
Yeah.
And he still don't like taking a spanking.
Yeah. But you still have to go home to talk to Mama.
Yes, you do.
And there ain't no doubt about it. She is the queen of the family.
As we say, she's got the chalk.
Yes.
Yeah. Pick up a 20. Here's Zachary. Quick opener off the right side. And Travis got planted by Chris Hope. But he got about 9 yards or so.
Good player right there. Chris Hope outstanding player, just announced this week, was awarded one of 8 National Football Foundation Scholar Athlete Awards. That's an $18,000 postgraduate award. He and also Kyle Young
for Clemson.
Center for Clemson.
Kyle said the other day, I read it in the paper, they didn't know about it. Yeah. Kyle's the center of attention for Clemson because of the snaps. Number 59 right there by the referee is going to watch. He's one of the captains who'll watch the chain gang come out. There's Kyle, who's grew up, born, and raised bleeding orange.
Boy.
And his granddaddy played here. His dad, in fact, Ron, is our timeout coordinator on the sideline, the guy that keeps play from resuming when we come out of timeouts and that type of thing. And there's Ron. So he's been doing that about 20-some years since before Kyle was even born. And so the Young family.
He doesn't work the clock now.
No, he doesn't work the clock.
If he were working the clock, that might be a little.
Second down and inches. Under 5 minutes to go in the quarter. Dantzler gets the first down all by himself, and they'll move the sticks to about the 40-yard line. So Clemson picks up first down up, but they're trailing by 24 here late in the third quarter. Now they have to utilize that no-huddle offense and not waste all 25 seconds. Our Chevy trucks first and 10. The line to get to in the next first down is the 30. First down here. Zachary broke one tackle. Brought down after about a 3-yard pickup. Alonzo Jackson made the stop. This Florida State defense, we talk so much about their offense. Their defense week in and week out now is starting to get a little bit better.
It is. It really is. It's getting better, and that's what Mickey Andrews wants. Get better each week. They've had some injuries. They've identified them. They've gone through them. Says, all right, now we've had injuries. The guys that are playing have to get better.
Second down and 6. Dantzler still without a touchdown pass today. Fires this one. Nobody home again. Whether his receiver broke his pattern off in the other direction. It was Bailey and Hamilton with the 2 guys out there. Kind of threw it right between both.
Well, this is the perfect situation that you want Clemson and Woody Dantzler. You want him behind and want him to have to throw the football. Beat you with his arm and not his legs.
Third down and 6 now. Ball at the 36 of Florida State. Dantzler will take off. He's not going to get the first down, but this might be 2-down territory here. I don't know. They're too far out for a field goal. Hate to think that they aren't going to get a lot more opportunities to get down deep. This guy's played a whale of a game today.
He has. Jennings, the senior, the captain, the leader, the guy right in the middle.
Playing off a pretty decent block, too. So it is 4th down, and they'll go.
Look for an option here.
High backfield behind Dantzler. He'll keep it himself. He's got the first. He's got more. Woody Dantzler close to the 10-yard line. Just outside the 10, a 21-yard run on 4th down and short.
Short yardage, goal line, look for the option from Clemson. You got so many opportunities, and the guy that has the best running ability of all of them might be the guy that took the ball and carried it downfield. Boulware with a nice play.
The best running ability probably in the whole conference, even though he's a quarterback. Just outside the 10, so they can get a first down inside the 1. Here's the give. Rembert, who's done a pretty nice job today on the ground, gets to about the 7. Talking with Woody Dantzler the other day, I asked him about his aspirations after college football, if he would be willing to play a different position if the NFL didn't await as a quarterback. Remember, he's only 5'11", if he's lucky 205.
Is that when he frowned at you?
Yeah, he frowned. He said the good Lord will lead me in that direction when I get to that point. He didn't want to talk about it.
That's a good answer, but...
It's a good answer, but you better go to church soon.
Yeah, knowing what we know.
Second and 6. Woody throws incomplete. Hamilton had his hands on it, but a nice job defensively out there by Michael Boulware.
He's a guy with a lot of skill, Dantzler, but I don't think he can make it as a quarterback. He's got a lot of skill, a lot of good. He's either a receiver or maybe a defensive back, maybe a free safety.
I don't know, Bob. I kind of think of him as a running back still. I mean, I don't know how he'd work his way through the line, but I see him as a Marshall Faulk kind of a running back. He's very bright, very intelligent, would never make a lot of mistakes. If he's got the good hands and he can receive the ball, he'd be ideal in that kind of offense.
He is a bright kid. It was really enjoyable talking with him yesterday.
One of the 7 grad students on this team. 3rd down and 6. He'll keep it. Quarterback draw. Touchdown. Woody Dantzler's 7-yard touchdown. You talk about a guy long enough, he'll get you in the end zone.
And you talk about comebacks. Clemson will be down 17 points with a whole quarter to play. But you have to stop Florida State. And you have to get some turnovers.
Woody this time waited for it to open up and just split it right up past the umpire.
Nice job, right up the middle.
His 2nd rushing touchdown of the day, his 9th of the year, and his career is 26th. The elder half of the Bowden clan still in front of the youngsters, 34-17. This shows you how quick his feet are, and when he makes a decision, it's all over. And that's what he did to Georgia Tech in overtime to win. What was a crucial loss for Georgia Tech is they still feel they're in the ACC hunt, and they are.
Woody is the number 3 passer in the conference, pass efficiency-wise. He's number 3 passing, but he is also the number 3 rusher in the league. As a quarterback, when you consider all the other running backs, he's 3rd in the league in rushing yardage.
Got his marketing degree, as I mentioned, a grad student and a student of Warren Moon, his hero, wearing the same number. As a kid growing up, Warren could never run that good, though, even when he was young. Maybe at Washington, but never in the CFL or with the Oilers or the Vikings.
Yeah, he didn't have these legs.
Nope.
He doesn't have these wheels.
But Tommy Bowden's team cuts the lead down to 17, and Lazaro will tee it up.
He knows that his defense has to do something to stop the offense.
I mean, one play in the first half, Brian Mance's interception.
Yeah.
Chris Ricks, you see the tape around the wrists, believe on one and win on the other. And I think they're believing in him, and they are winning right now. This kick drives Thorpe 5 yards deep, and he will knee it down there. Florida State will work from the 20.
There is no choice. Once that ball crosses the goal line, he can't run it out.
Reminder, at the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game. Chevy will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. That last drive by Clemson, by the way, traveled 87 yards in 11 plays and went relatively quickly, 3 minutes and 43 seconds. That's where we said if they do move it down the field, they can do it in a hurry.
Let me correct myself on that kickoff. You can run the kickoff back. If the ball goes in on a punt, you can't run it out.
Here's Jones, and Rodney Thomas made the first hit. Got about a yard.
Well, this is where Reggie Herring has got to get his defense up and stop this Seminole. They've scored on, 6 of their last 8 possessions.
Do they chance blitzing here or not?
Well, you do that, and you single coverage on the outside.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And that means Javon Walker, who's trotting out there to the top of the screen. Bell to the near side. This is where they like play action with the I formation. Here it comes. Ricks getting some heat. Chris trying to run out of it, heading to the sticks. And he got out of bounds. Did he get the first down? I think he did.
See, that's the other thing that Ricks brings to this. Clemson defensively had him covered pretty well downfield, and the quarterback scrambles for maybe a first down.
That's the one guy you can't account for all the time.
Exactly.
And especially when you run this well.
What do you go to? This kid has done so well the last couple of games. He's had, he had 9 touchdowns, a couple interceptions.
Way over 300 yards each game.
Wait till he finds out what's really going on out there.
He might really be good.
Yeah.
Then. On first down, he's been pretty efficient today, too. Fires this one. Talman Gardner got one hand on it. Incomplete. Gardner and Walker both over 100 yards if you're just joining us on the receiving end of number 16's passes today. I mean, we were talking about, and some of the Florida State folks, of course, have grumbled because their team has lost 2 games. But you take a redshirt freshman. Tell me about a redshirt freshman that has as many touchdown passes as he has now, which is 18.
Yeah.
And is the top-rated quarterback in your conference and the #1 freshman-rated quarterback in the country.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too much to complain about. He's going to make some mistakes. But
high expectations at that position, at that school.
Jones cuts out to the right side, broke a tackle, and then rumbles out for a first down. Pickup of 12, and they'll move the sticks again. And big number 6 got ahead of steam and ran over some guys en route to that first down. Next Saturday, doubleheader starts at noon Eastern. Top-ranked Miami will meet Boston College. Oklahoma and Texas A&M will tangle at 3:30. We'll be in Lincoln, Nebraska. Oregon, UCLA, Penn State against Illinois. And an ACC game yet to be determined. That's our doubleheader next Saturday. College football on ABC. At the 43, first down. Off play action, fire complete. Atruz Bell. Right now, Atruz Bell's going, you know what? I could use over 100 yards receiving. He picks up 16 more there.
The thing about Florida State, too, is all the balls go to the wide receivers.
Wouldn't want to be a tight end here if you want to make a bunch of money or something at the next level.
Wouldn't want to be a tight end or a fullback. Gardner, wide receivers, caught 6. Walker's caught 5. Bell has caught 3. Thorpe's caught 1. So the leading receivers caught 15 of the passes. They're all wide receivers.
Approaching 20 seconds. Greg Jones broke another tackle. Man, he's been good today. Jones is all the way down near the 15-yard line. A late flag flies in at the end of the play. It's going to be a run of about 25 yards again. They just can't bring him down.
They can't slow him down.
Nope. 5-yard face mask on top of it, so it's going to be a 30-yard pickup.
They can't stop the run, and they can't stop the pass.
Kevin Johnson, I think, is going to be the guilty party at the end of this play.
This young man is just a true sophomore.
He's broken tackles, Bob, on literally every run he's had today. There's the face mask.
Right.
Here's a guy that'd like to try to help tackle for his defense, but he can only coach him.
Yeah, he's a little handicapped, too, because he lost a lot of players.
End of 3 quarters with Florida State threatening again. They have a 17-point lead, 34-17. It's been a Chris Ricks show again. ABC Sports presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
This is Silverado Heavy Duty. Available with the new Duramax diesel. The most powerful diesel you can get in a pickup. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
Okay. Took care of the spark plugs, flushed the coolant. The brakes were shot, so I went ahead and took care of those. Greased and lubed it, cleaned out the injectors, replaced the air filter, the fuel filter, rotated the tires, and changed the oil.
Thanks, honey.
More ASC certified master technicians, the top mechanics in the country, use Valvoline motor oil in their own cars over any other oil.
Did you take out the garbage?
Sure did. Separated bottles from cans. One of the bags was leaking, so I double bagged that. And the roof's going to need some work. I can get to that next week.
The catalog comes alive. It's the 2001 Victoria's Secret Fashion Show. Thursday, November 15th at 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Brick homes have the strength to retain their beauty, season after season. That's the beauty of brick. In 1923, homes in this neighborhood sold for around $10,000. Today, they sell for $300,000 plus. Nice neighborhood. That's the beauty of brick.
Saved by Zero.
Introducing 0% APR financing, or up to $1,000 cash back on every new 2002 Corolla, 4Runner, or Tundra.
Save by zero.
This is ABC News Channel 27.
Chris Ricks in the huddle to start the fourth quarter. His team in front 34-17 and knocking on the door again. As there's how the scoring has gone. Again, the second quarter belonged to them. And there was one key play that kind of turned the tide of this football game in Florida State's favor. And it looked like Clemson would stay with them. Play action. Ricks to the end zone. It's intercepted by Brian Mance again. That's only the second mistake that Ricks has made, and number 2 has been there for both of them. That's the turnover they needed, Bob.
Hey, look at the turnover. Gardner's got to come across the field a little bit more. He gets shoved away, and the defensive back gets a better position. You go around the guy, you got to come back across the field. Mance gets back inside of Gardner and makes a good play out of it.
Bob, I was always coach, when you run that route, regardless of what the defensive back does, the receiver has to make the break inside that defensive back, not around him. Once you break around him, you give that defensive back the advantage.
Even if you have to widen him to start with, still get inside of him.
Let's see if this is a momentum turner for Clemson. They're not dead in the water yet, but they don't get anything on the ground right there. Darrell Hudson making the stop. Loss of a yard. There's Hudson, the huge middle linebacker, 277-pounder.
No, I ain't right. I was talking to somebody on the field today before the game. He says, he's more than that.
He's more than that. I thought you were going to tell me that was too heavy.
No, he's more than that. And that's about the way he said it. You can probably guess who it was. He's more than that.
Yeah, I know who it was. Here's Dantzler. When he throws, completes it to Rembert across the middle. Short of the first down by about 2 yards. Kendall Pope was there defensively.
Take a look from behind. Good look at the linebackers dropping straight back. That's all you can do.
Third down coming up, 3rd and 2. Chad Jasmine has come into the fullback spot with Rembert behind him. One wide receiver on a 3rd and 2. On the option. Here's a late pitch to Rembert with a flag down. He's got the first down, and then out to the 37-yard line he goes. But again, a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Florida State knows the option's coming. 3rd and short or on the goal line situation, you still can't stop it.
Jim Knight's our referee. It's offside against the Noles.
Offside, defense, penalty is declined, first down.
So they move the sticks. 13 and a half to play, down 17. But a quick touchdown, and then you start to wonder a little bit.
There's a group up here that's tough to defend.
He's going to roll that way. And in trouble, and down he goes, and the ball is loose. Been picked up. Travis Johnson scooped it up. I kept waiting for a whistle. Darnell Dockett is the guy that forced the fumble, but there's a flag down.
Got a face mask against Florida State. I think it's going to negate the fumble.
5 yard incidental face mask against the defense.
I think that's our 4th 5-yard face mask penalty today. And as Bob said, changes everything there. Not a fumble. Clemson will get 5 yards and will be out about the 42, 43-yard line.
Dantzler getting outside. Dockett. Right on the. I tell you, Dockett can move. Dockett is probably their best interior defensive lineman. But we've been calling his name for some penalties the last couple of weeks.
Second down at 5. They fake the end around. Dantzler waits. Maybe waited too long. He did, but he throws it away and out of bounds. It was Hamilton who was out there. Malcolm Tatum was the guy covering. They had that play to play with, if you will, because it was a 1st down and 5 after the penalty. So it's still only 2nd down and 5 and really no harm done. Although they did all that motion and all the faking of the end around and then didn't get to do anything with it. There's Dockett, the guy Bob was just talking about, who comes out this play. And now it's only 2nd down and 5. Dantzler on the keeper. When he spins, he's got a 1st down. Needed 5. He got about 7 out to the 50-yard line. So now it's 34-17. And Bob, this is an opportunity. Clemson, after that turnover, Vance's 2nd interception. If they get something going here, we got a ball game.
Good football player, Woody Nance. You can bet that Tommy Bowden is not giving up in this ball game. He's 17 points down. He's got 12 minutes to go. But he needs some help from his defense, like he got the interception in the end zone. If you're not going to stop him from scoring, then you got to get a pickoff.
Zachary, 15 on a quick opening draw for Travis Zachary. And all of a sudden the crowd feels the same thing that we're starting to sense a little bit, as he rips off 14 yards down to the 36.
Well, this is an offense that can score some points. They got a 5th-year senior at running back. They got a 5th-year senior at quarterback and a very experienced offensive line.
And again, they can move it in a hurry without a huddle. Dantzler fakes it inside, cuts outside himself, and run down by Alonzo Jackson and Kendall Pope. Abdul Howard was also out there.
Fakes the option, little inside option, if you will. Good job by Howard and Pope to maintain their outside leverage and don't let him get outside.
2nd down and a long 6. Merritt comes running out of the offensive line. Did they have too many guys out there?
No. I think he just thought the ball was going to be snapped.
If he was pulling all the way to the Florida State bench.
He was going to the bench.
That was goofy looking.
That's good.
It looked like he was decided he was going to take his ball and go home. Watch this play. That's Coach Bowden's reaction.
No, the coaches are never like that. Here you are right here. Watch, he's going to pull. The play is for him to pull.
Whoa. Wrong count. Okay. He pulled on 1. We're going on 2. 2nd and 11. Dantzler has time, runs out of it, and the ball is loose again. Derek Brantley, I think the tackle got on top of that, as you saw Boulware and Jackson trying to scoop it up. Darnell Dockett caused that thing again. So heads up play by the tackle, or this would have been a Florida State football.
A nice play.
Wow.
Dockett's a good player.
Yes, he is.
Good player. He's very active, knocking the ball loose. Whenever we talk to offensive coaches, that's the first name we hear in the defensive line is Dockett.
3rd down and 8. Here they come. Dantzler across the middle, ball's in the air, incomplete. Oof. There was a sandwich out there in the middle of the field. I think was it a Curry sandwich? It was.
The Noles haven't blitzed often, but when they have, it's been very productive.
Aries Curry was the intended receiver, and he drew a serious crowd of defenders. Watch how many white jerseys come around the intended receiver. Boom. Man. That was Hope that put the hit on, and now it's 4th down. They got to have this one. 4th and 8. Biggest play of the game if Clemson's to keep hopes alive. Dantzler has to scurry around. Giving chase, flags down. It's going to be a holding call anyway, regardless of what he does here. And he puts a helmet on Tatum right near the 1st down marker. But again, I think the holding is going to bring it back. Woody needed 8 and he got 9.
Yeah, I think you're right, partner.
He did all that work, and I don't think it's going to matter.
Jim Knight threw the flag.
Holding by the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot.
Yeah.
So it gives them another chance, but it's going to be 4th down and a mile, because Florida State had to accept the penalty because he picked up the 1st down, so they had to take it. So now it's back at the, what are they going to put it, 44-yard line.
You know, you talk about holding calls, partner. and the umpire is right behind the defensive line looking for holding. And the referee is standing behind the offensive line next to the quarterback. The referee makes more holding calls than the umpire does.
So
and
he's
the one that made that one.
He made that one. Here's miracle time for Clemson. 4th and 18. Pump fake one way. Long ball other way. Got it. Roscoe Crosby. First down Clemson.
Big play there.
That one had some smoke on it too.
It did, and the key thing, he looked away, looked the safety off, so he can get the ball into Tanner. Roscoe Crosby, number 25.
It ain't over yet. Clemson driving. They're in the red zone. First down at the Florida State 16. They trail by 17. Time for Woody Dantzler to do his thing. And that one hit as he threw, or he tried to pull up on it. It's incomplete either way. Kevin Emanuel again was bringing some heat.
It's not like Woody has never brought a team back from behind before.
That's for darn sure.
I think he's more used to this than he is winning from being ahead. But he's never beaten this squad. He's never beaten FSU in the 2 years that he's played against them.
12th play of the drive. Second down at 10 at the Knowles 16. Dantzler will take off with it on his own. Oh man, did he pay the price for that? Tony Benford. And him head on.
Bedford, a backup defensive tackle in there, just giving Womble a break.
One of the things the defensive line has done well all afternoon in trying to defend Woody Dantzler is instead of being overly aggressive and going after the quarterback each time, they've stayed in their lanes, forcing the quarterback when he wants to run to come to them as opposed to being out of position when he takes off.
That's what North Carolina did too, Swanee. They're the only team that's been able to sort of slow him down. Third down and a dozen. Short over the middle of Zachary. And he only got back to the line of scrimmage, and now it's 4th and 10. Under 9 minutes. I think Clemson wants to talk about it here. They will take a timeout. We will as well. 8:53 remaining. Clemson's got another chance or two when we come back.
Chili's baby back ribs. To go.
I think it's going to be about a yard short. Bring it up 4th and 1.
Get in, get out, get on with your life.
For his first attempt, a 360 tomahawk.
Introducing new Tostitos Scoops.
Amazing. And now the alley-oop reverse.
With the bite-sized bowl-shaped design.
Oh, my. And what everyone's been waiting for, the two-handed thunder.
For the perfect dip every time.
Oh, the judges have to be impressed.
New Tostitos Scoops. The dip lover's chip. Also great with new Queso Supreme dip.
Do you think you're making a difference? We do. Since you started being a designated driver, or calling a cab for a friend, or serving responsibly, drunk driving fatalities are down 37%. To all who are making a difference, thank you.
It's a better place to live. It's a better place to live. Thanks to you.
History will be made when one of them scores Monday Night Football's 20,000th point. Monday at 9 on ABC.
Clemson needs 2 touchdowns and a field goal to win this thing, so they're going to at least line up for the field goal. Aaron Hunt has missed from 35, hit from 22. Jeff Scott, number 12, is his holder. This kick's good.
Good thinking.
They got the 3.
Good thinking. If you would have gone for it and not made it, it would have ended the game. But now you kick a field goal, you still need 2 touchdowns.
Hunt good from 32. It's 34-20.
Okay, good news. That broadband thing we all want? Got it figured out. Honey, you call the phone company. Tracy, you're digging the trench, shovels in the garage. I'm going up on the roof to assess the satellite possibilities. Timmy, check out the schematics. Appreciate it. Let's go! Broadband!
We know how you feel, and that's why Circuit City offers one-stop high-speed internet access. You can find what's available where, compare options, and arrange installation. Circuit City, we're with you.
Huh, we can get broadband at Circuit City.
Want to start a family?
Right now?
I just got supplemental insurance.
What's that?
Aflac. Well, if we get sick, our health insurance won't cover things like lost pay or other expenses. This does.
What's it called?
Aflac! I don't know.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Ever wonder how the race car driver gets to the race car? Seville STS, the fusion of design and technology. Cadillac.
Let's throw up the...
There's the leader of the Bowden bunch, Ann Bowden. And the family gets together every summer after they have their quarterback camp for kids down at Panama City. Tommy says trickery. Dad didn't know what he was holding up. He held up the tiger paw. Miss Ann was the one that said everybody dressed in white, no shoes allowed. There's the picture on the beach. Jeff and Tommy over on the right, Bobby in the middle, and our comrade Terry over on the far left. Part of the Bowden clan every year. Everybody shows up. There isn't even any question about who's going to be there and who's not. They all show up. I think it's 26 grandkids, if I'm not mistaken, and I think
26.
counting. I think that's what Coach told me. Some indecision now. Here comes Thorpe. Well, maybe it's going to pay off for him. Rapunzel Thorpe looked like he made a bad mistake, and he got out to the 28-yard line.
Bobby's got a birthday coming up.
He'll be 72 on Thursday.
Sir.
Got an early present a couple of weeks ago with a contract extension, and as he told us, you got a little bit of race.
you were a dog. Last week you were talking to him at the end of the interview on camera. You said to him, "Yeah, I heard you got a new contract." He said, "Yeah, well, you know, yeah." A little race.
Oh boy, he's something else.
He didn't want to talk about it.
28-yard line now. Getting a little more dangerous for Florida State. 8.5 to play. They lead by 2 touchdowns. Ricks comes up throwing, and it's complete. And it's Javon Walker again. Already a career high for Javon Walker, and he's adding to it as we check in with John in New York.
Brad, a great one falling out in the Michigan State game. John Navarre finds his Wolverines down by 3. Drops back. Finds Jermaine Gonzalez, the backup quarterback, 20 yards for the touchdown. Michigan regains the lead, although Michigan State has the ball.
Boy, Gonzalez made a couple big plays this year, hasn't he?
Hasn't he, though? And Navarre really playing well.
Over 10 yards on first down. Another first down here. Ricks loading it for Trues Bell. And incomplete. Looking for a flag, but nice coverage back there defensively by Kevin Johnson. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Cadillac, the fusion of design and technology. Circuit City, we know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City, we're with you. Pacific Life, annuities, insurance, investments. Discover the power of Pacific Life. And Mountain Dew Code Red. Discover a sensation as real as the streets. It's Code Orange down here for Clemson. They need the ball back with 8 minutes, and that isn't going to be the way to get it, I don't think. Looks like they're offsides unless they were drawn up by Montre Holland.
Here's a look at where we are. Florida State, they need some help. Clemson goes to Maryland. They need Clemson to knock Maryland off so they can get the undisputed championship of the conference. If both teams win out, Florida State still wins it.
If there's a several-way tie, the highest-ranked team would be the team that would go to the BCS. Here's Jones. Of course, a lot of things can come into play there, too, because Florida State's still got to play Florida. Chad Carson. This guy's intense. What a great kid. In talking to him yesterday, he's still playing with some intensity.
23 tackles last week and an interception.
We were talking with him yesterday about the fact that with so many young guys, he has to be the man on that side of the ball and be a leader.
Last year, there was a lot of seniors on the team, and I wasn't always the guy who had to be vocal. And I came in this year, and it was me and another returning starter, and that was it. And I had to be the guy who the younger guys look to, like, what do we do in the game or in a pressure situation? I'm the one that has to, keep the guys together, I think, or push them in practice, that kind of thing. And that's, it's been a growing experience for me too, but it's a role that I like taking.
Growing experience. They'd love to see somebody take a leadership on a 3rd down and short and make a play here. Ricks trying to scream directions to his offensive teammates and his center. That's how loud it is in here. The give to Jones. They haven't stopped him all day. They still haven't stopped him, and I don't think anybody's going to stop him. Greg Jones is gone. Touchdown, Florida State. On 3rd and short, he rips it off 52 yards for a touchdown.
Clemson lost containment on the outside. Everybody got so enamored with stopping the inside run that Jones just bounces it to the outside.
They've got a 300-yard passer, 200-yard receivers, and way over 100 yards in a rusher now in Greg Jones. That's 155 for Jones on the day.
16 carries, 155 yards. Huge day.
And that probably will ice things as the extra point is up and good. The drama kept building. They needed a stop. Not only did they not get it after a yard, they didn't get it after 50 more either. Jones, 51 yards, touchdown, Florida State.
This is Silverado Heavy Duty. The most powerful heavy-duty pickup you can get. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
You got next. All right,
Discover a sensation as real as the streets. Mountain Dew Code Red.
Swordfish. Buy it on video.
Best crackers in the world can do this in 60 minutes.
Get the password.
I need in 60 seconds.
To action.
3, more time, 1.
Not everything ends the way you think it should.
Swordfish. Buy it on video cassette and DVD.
Your search for the right financial partner brings you to the Pacific Life family of companies, managing more than $300 billion in assets. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
Get down at the fence!
Blue, a 2-hour premiere event, ABC this Tuesday, 9/8 Central.
It's another one of those career-high kind of days for the Florida State young fellas. Greg Jones, a South Carolina native, comes back to his home state. He's got 155 yards. That's a new high for him, including a 51-yard touchdown a second ago that probably iced things. Javon Walker's had a career-high receiving day. Chris Ricks has thrown 4 more touchdown passes. Bathy is the guy that's got it teed up here to kick, and a high kick may force a fair catch. Nope, they'll have a chance to return it. Get on Dean. And trying to throw a stiff arm. Joe Don Reams with the hit run back. Our Pacific Life game summary. So far in this one, Chris Ricks hooks up with Tolman Gardner on a slant. Comes back. Does likewise to Javon Walker. Took a big hit as he threw that one. Woody Dantzler has done a nice job. It hasn't been a perfect day for him. He has run for a couple of touchdowns, but he's been knocked down and bruised by the Florida State defense today. Florida State has scored on 7 of its 11 possessions as well. And now Dantzler has to throw late, and it's incomplete.
Florida State is season high 500, almost 560 yards in total offense.
Pass intended for Reese Curry right there, number 9. There's the numbers, 558. They came in averaging 430 yards a game, which was 3rd best in the ACC, so that will move them up a little bit.
This team is getting better, and we know because we've seen them 4 times.
That's right. Dantzler across the middle. That one's worked for him today. Curry got popped by Boulware after picking up about 6 or 7. Clock is under 7 minutes now. Reminder, time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report. John and Terry will have all the scores and highlights from today's action. Two tight end set here. See much of that on 3rd down. Inside give, nice run. Chad Jasmine, the fullback, picks up a 1st down. And they bring the wide receivers back out.
Bob and Brad were talking about Florida State and the great offensive show that they had today. When we started the ball game, we said there are a couple of things that they had to be concerned about. One was the field, which they mastered perfectly. 2 was the crowd noise. They've humbled this crowd. And 3, well, I guess they've shown the kind of consistency that Bobby Bowden's looking for.
Yep, no doubt about that. Those were the questions, and they answered pretty much everything.
You know who's not happy about this?
Let's see.
George O'Leary.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. He needs a little help.
No, I'm just saying he had him scheduled to play earlier in the year.
Right.
When Chris Ricks was really a baby and making his 1st or 2nd start.
Now they got him December 1st.
He's going to catch him at about his 10th or 11th start when they're really rolling offensively and defensively.
Amazingly, Georgia Tech is a team that is number 1 or number 2 in almost every category that they can come up with in the ACC.
Right.
And they're not on the top of the heap because they lost twice in overtime. Once to this Clemson team and Woody Dantzler on a sensational outing for him.
And both games at home. Both games overtime, both games at home.
If Georgia Tech had even one of those overtime games back in the win column, you might be talking about a top 7 team, and who knows? Ooh, still hitting out there. Bradley Jennings is still hitting people, I'll tell you that much. The senior out of Miami. Watch this guy.
44 middle linebacker. Well, nobody's blocking him. You know, I'm talking as an offensive guy now. If you don't put a hat on him or a bonnet.
He'll put a hat on you, I'll tell you that.
Exactly. If you don't put a bonnet on him, as Mickey's like to say.
2nd and 9. Plenty of time down the middle. Oops, in and out of the hands of Hamilton. He should have had that one, and it would have been a 1st down.
But that's the design of the defense. The defensive linemen keep the offensive lineman off the middle linebacker so Jennings can move right and left to make a play.
As we watch this play, Bob, I can't help but think about what would have happened to Boulware had he decided to come to Clemson and been a wide receiver. With these other guys you have, I think he would have been watching a lot of football.
Almost came here for that very reason. And there's a sack by Benford, who's had a nice 4th quarter. Fresh legs for the junior from Denver. Florida State now just 5 minutes away from going to 6-2, 5-1 in the conference, 75-3 all time under that guy. And Tommy Bowden was saying to us, if you think my dad isn't talking to Florida State in the locker room this week saying, do you want to be the guys that end the string of winning 10 games every year? Because if they win out and win a bowl game, they can win 10 again.
Yeah.
And he says he's going to play that card, you can bet. And it looks like they're going to get their 6th win against 2 losses here in the next 4.5 minutes. Dantzler's going to go long. Got a man out there. McKelvey flags down. Ball's in his hands. He got it. Malcolm Tatum, he wrestled it away from him. J.J. McKelvey, first time he's caught a ball today. First time they've thrown one his way.
McKelvey is 6'4". Tatum on the short end of that stick there.
Soon this is going to be holding or
Pass
interference.
Defense, it is declined. First down.
So the ball is right about even at the 10-yard line. This is a 50-yard play after the wrestling match for the football. Actually, I guess Tatum never did have his hands in there. It was his helmet that was keeping the ball from being completely grasped by McKelvey, and he does.
Malcolm Tatum needs to be able to see the ball. When the receiver has that look in his eye and starts reaching for the ball, he needs to turn around and play the ball. He never sees the ball. He's done that several times in the last couple of weeks.
First and goal. Crossing pattern to Hamilton. He's close. He's down to the 1. Jennings saved a touchdown. Boulware was there as well. It's second and goal. Clock winding down to 4 minutes.
The crossing route. Usually the guy coming across is the outlet. Look downfield. Say he was down before he hit the line.
Now they bring in their short yardage group.
See if they run another option.
Second and goal inside the 1. Here's a pitch. Rembert, he's got a touchdown. That's a touchdown they needed the last time they had the ball. Still, it's down to 2 touchdowns, and you know what's coming.
They just can't stop.
No.
Florida State offensively, they just can't stop their offense.
Rembert's had a nice game today. Remember, he's the guy that had the play called back.
Yep.
The Punarewski. And by the way, we had a chance to look at that play from an entirely different angle from the coach's film. They did not have 7 guys on the line of scrimmage. In fact, they didn't have a gunner out on the left side. They were missing a player.
They only had 10 guys on the field, and that's why they didn't have a 7th guy up on the line of scrimmage.
3:43 remaining. Rembert gets it in the end zone. Is it too little, too late, though? We'll find out when we come back.
Then I had that taste. The new grilled sourdough bacon cheeseburger at Burger King.
Now I'm a believer.
With grilled sourdough bread.
Not a trace of doubt in my mind.
A quarter pound of flame broiled beef.
I'm in love. Ooh.
2 slices of melted Swiss cheese. 4 strips of bacon. The new grilled sourdough bacon cheeseburger will make you a believer. Now for a limited time at Burger King. Shrek, the biggest movie of the year. Now available wherever videos are sold.
More ASC certified master technicians, the top mechanics in the country, use Valvoline more than any other oil in their own cars.
Kenny, come to bed.
And for cars with over 75,000 miles, there's Max Life.
After the new Chevy Trailblazer, everything else just seems kind of weak. The all-new 270 horsepower Chevy Trailblazer, like a rock.
Here's a play we were talking about from earlier in the ball game when it looked like they ran for a touchdown on a fake punt. There's a reason there's a problem, Bob.
There's nobody out here on offense. You got a defensive man right here, but there's nobody lined up there on offense. You've got to have 7 men on the line of scrimmage, and they're missing their wide guy. They've got 4 in the backfield. They've only got 6 on the line of scrimmage. That's 10 players. 1 guy was not out there.
Executed perfectly, but as we take a look at the coach's film, 1 guy missing out there on the left, and that negated a 61-yard touchdown that might have been, who knows, the difference in the game. We don't know.
And when Tommy Bowden walked off the field, Brad and Bob, when I was talking to him, he realized and understood that his team had made an error. There was no argument. There was no, he was not upset thinking that the officials had made a bad call. He realized that his team did not have that person in at that time.
And as Bob said, you know, maybe once every You might call it a bunch, but it's never the right defense to run it. But you might actually see that thing tried once every 5 years, and then it works, you think, to perfection, and it's just one little mishap out there that turns it around.
And you're dealing with 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, you know, who was supposed to be on that punt team, and maybe the guy that was supposed to be there had an injury, or maybe he was starting on another offense or defense and thought he was taken off the punt team.
You never know all of those.
You never know.
But I have to say, I believe, even when you look at the score, 27-41 in favor of Florida State, that Tommy Bowden has his Clemson program moving in the right direction. I mean, you look at the kids he's brought in. He's starting to win the recruiting battles of the key players that Florida State is also going after. 2 guys he took away, that kept here in South Carolina, that Florida State wanted badly. When you look at the kids he's been here over the last 3, 4, 5 years, they're getting bigger, faster, stronger. He's building the program. So I think you're going to see this program at Clemson continue to rise under Tommy Bowden. He's just doing all the right things.
I agree 100%.
And that's what we're talking about. All these guys are fifth-year players. Look in the white. Those are the numbers when they came in as freshmen. And then the gold, how they've improved. And when you look at 4'9", 4'9", keep in mind, that young man put on an additional 40 pounds and didn't lose a step.
We anticipate an onside kick. And the Clemson folks, Tim Beret and his SID department, are saying the last successful onside kick at Clemson was 22 years ago.
Well, let's have one.
Let's have one. Nope. Javon Walker, I think, at the last second. I don't know. They still haven't said, but he's on the bottom.
It was on the ground for a while.
It was on the ground.
It was there for the taking.
And Walker, who's caught everything in sight today, catches a loose ball. That was oh so important.
Talk about the ball bouncing around.
Went right through number 41's hands. And then Chad Carson had a play. Yep. And then Walker cleaned it up. Big day for that kid. He's going to be just better and better every week. 162 yards on 6 catches, 2 touchdowns. And as we said early in the season, normally Florida State has stars on their team, but when they're young, you just don't know who they are yet. And all of a sudden now the names are starting to get repetitious week in, week out. Walker, Gardner, Ricks, Jones.
Yep. That's it. That's for sure.
And that will put Bobby Bowden one step closer himself to Bear Bryant. But Joe Pa's saying, Bob, you're going to have to be in the rearview mirror because I'm going to keep winning now. Joe Pa won his 3rd in a row today. So he goes to 325. Bobby's going to go to 321 here in about 3 minutes.
Bobby's still trying to score. You know, he might be trying to run one of his favorite plays, which is the reverse. If he's got any gimmick plays, he said, now this is a good time to run a gimmick. We're across the 50-yard line.
There's what's going to happen in about 2 minutes and 55 seconds. And we talked with Tommy about it, and Bear Bryant was one of Bobby's heroes, and the whole family kind of grew up in Alabama. He started his coaching career there, eloped with Miss Ann into Alabama. And we talked to Tommy and said, you know, did you ever, when you were a kid, think the old man would not only be a coach this long, but he'd pass Bear Bryant?
We spent a lot of time in Alabama, where we've been raised. That's all of our homes, you know, back then. So Bear Bryant was kind of the godly figure as far as football, and watched his show, and my father watched his show, and kind of his idol growing up, and a lot of ours in the coach prefer, Terry and myself. So the fact that he's going to finally surpass him is we had no idea and couldn't fathom it 15, 20, 30 years ago.
And there's the Bear with the legendary hat, the national championships, the 323 wins that stood oh so long. And of course, shortly after his retirement, he passed away. And Bobby says, you know, that's one of the reasons I don't want to retire. He says the next big thing that happens in your life after retirement ain't that good.
Ain't that good, that's right. That's for sure.
This is Bowden looking on. 3rd down and 5. Ricks play action. Might want it all. Going to the corner and almost intercepted again. Mance got a hand on another one. Atruz Bell is the guy that was the intended receiver, and it's 4th down.
Here's the one I like. Look at this one here. Like son, like father.
Yeah, the kids both beat him there.
Yeah, Terry had a perfect season first. And then Tommy had his perfect season in '98. Not until '99 did Bobby have a perfect season. But that's pretty good right there.
2 national championships in the '90s for the old man. Walton needed a punt, hit it a mile in the air. And they have to get out of the way of the kick. I think they might have lost that thing in the lights. I don't know, but they got out of the way, and it bounces out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. Don't forget, next Saturday, Miami, Boston College, and A&M and Oklahoma get it started at noon Eastern. Kansas State against second-ranked Nebraska, Oregon, UCLA, Penn State, and Illinois in the Big Ten, and it'll be NC State against this 14th-ranked Florida State squad in Tallahassee. And that's where Florida State will be trying to go to 7-2. And they meet Phillip Rivers and pretty good offensive machine and an ex-assistant coach in Chuck Amato there. So some old friends get together. Not necessarily family members, but old friends get together in that one next week.
A lot of ex-Florida State people in this conference now.
Woody Dantzler across the middle. Curry makes the catch. Takes a headbutt from Michael Boulware and Bradley Jennings. They've thrown that little crossing pattern a million times today, hoping to snake somebody through there and break a big one, and it just hasn't happened because of the speed of Florida State.
Exactly. They see it, they read it, react, and come up and make a tackle.
Florida State might have had too many guys on the field. I don't see a flag. Now I do. It's Hamilton out to the 15. Seminoles are trying to change up like a hockey line in the NHL, and they had about 13 guys out there, I think.
Well, that problem is because of the hurry-up offense, the no-huddle offense that Clemson uses.
Call goes against Florida State.
Substitution infraction by the defense, 5-yard penalty, and repeat the down.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 2. And Rick Stockstill saying, hurry up, get up there, let's go. We got 2 minutes and 10 seconds left, and we're down to 1 timeout. Let's hustle. They need a big play, and they need it fast if they're to have any chance. Dantzler waits, finally fires, and he's got Crosby. Nice throw. Crosby's got it at the 33-yard line. 1st down. Stops the clock to move the sticks.
Tommy's got a lot of talent at wide receiver. It's just young. Dantzler won't be around to enjoy it next year, but Willie Simmons will.
Willie Simmons will be. Very similar type of player. Maybe a little better arm and not quite as good a runner. Here's a deep ball and almost picked off. Curry was open. It just didn't get there quick enough, and Abdul Howard almost intercepted it.
Needed to get it to him a little sooner.
1:46 remaining. Our Chevrolet players of the game. Chris Ricks. I couldn't keep it out of his hands today. Greasy gave me a dirty look. I said Greg Jones during a timeout. He said, if you don't give it to Ricks.
Should have got it last week.
Well, there you go. 4 touchdown passes. Woody Dantzler still working out there. He's got a couple on the ground. He'd love to get a quick one here, but he's getting mugged in the backfield instead. But still, he's been a brilliant performer in his stay at Clemson. Got 1 more home game is all. That'll be the makeup game with Duke December 1st. And for his career and how hard he's worked today, Woody Dantzler, the player game. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each university's general scholarship fund for those young fellas. Don't forget, it's Brian Greasy and Rich Gannon and all the hijinks and the excitement that is Broncos Raiders Monday Night Football. I wonder what you're going to be doing.
Hey, I'm going to be hanging around. Sitting down.
I'll be watching that one. Rich Gannon, an old friend. Brian Greasy. I watch games now, and every time I see somebody coming on a blitz, I cringe. I go, Brian, get down. That's different than the way it used to be.
I do the same thing. I did all my talking to him in the offseason. I was saying, hey, you're no good if you're injured. You got to get down, throw it away. But a couple nice coaches. I like Shanahan and Gruden. Gruden are 2 of my favorite guys.
They're intense.
Yeah, I like John Gruden. Does a good job.
Clemson's out of timeouts now. And we have 1:34 left. Oh, there's a sad face. There'll be better days. You got a lot of Clemson football to watch, little girl. There you go. That's better.
I think I saw her at the airport this morning. I mean, not the airport, the hotel. Yeah, I think I saw her.
Everybody decked out in orange. Packed house today. Big crowd, big game. A lot riding on it, but it's going to be Florida State's day. As Woody Dantzler's dragged down again, 4th time they've gotten to him. Sacked back at the 15 by Josh Charles. And the time has just about run out on Clemson's hopes of an upset. They're going to fall to 5-3 and 3-3 in the conference. And still 2 losses may get you some play as far as the conference crown is concerned. There's still a lot of football left in the ACC. Here's a long ball. Crosby out there and almost made a shoestring catch. Diving down there with Bryant McFadden. We check in Times Square Stadium in New York and John Saunders. John.
Brad, Michigan State always seems to come down to the final play of the game. 1 second left. Jeff Smoker scrambling. Spots the tailback. TJ Duckett wide open in the end zone. The come from behind victory. A couple of penalties kept that drive alive, and maybe a generous clock operator. 26-24 the final. The Spartans win.
Oh, there's going to be some damage done in East Lansing tonight.
Oh, you know that. That is for sure.
Well, that's a heck of a finish. And here we're down just to the finish as Florida State takes over less than a minute. Tommy Bowden will see his record against his dad go to 0-3. Dropping his 3rd game of the year. And Ricks will take a knee. Penalty markers. I guess you got to call them when they're there.
Less than 7 men on the line of scrimmage.
Oh, boy. Well, that call's the same one that Clemson got earlier, and this one goes against Florida State. They didn't have 7 guys up. I think they were just so huddled around Chris Ricks as to not let anybody touch him.
Yeah, they had
more of that than anything else.
They had to have enough guys on the field.
Here's the Florida State schedule. With the win today, that leaves them NC State at home, at Florida, which doesn't count toward the ACC championship, only towards what the BCS might think of them. And then that makeup game that Bob was talking about against Georgia Tech, when you know that George O'Leary would have rather had this team back when they were scheduled.
But if they want 10 wins, they're going to have to beat Florida.
They would have to beat Florida to go to 10 wins exactly. Here's what Clemson's got left. They'll be at Maryland, and that will not be an easy day. At South Carolina, that's the bragging rights for this state, and then they wind things up with Duke here, and that's their makeup game on December 1st.
So Florida State, if they win out the rest of their games, they will win the ACC again. They'll be tied, but they'll win the championship because they beat Maryland if Maryland wins the rest of their games.
Right. Another knee will just about do it. Good football game. And 2 coaches that love each other more than any 2 coaches that'll ever square off will head out to the field now for a handshake or a hug. You know, Tommy would have liked to have had it go the other way, but as he's done so many times, the old man prevails.
No, we got some guys who are really down. Wouldn't make a difference. Wouldn't make a difference. All right, I'll see you later. Kept fighting.
You kept fighting, kid. You kept fighting, kid. And he said, we had some guys hurt, but it wouldn't have mattered, Dad. That's the win for Florida State. 41-27 is the final. Be sure to join us tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern. USA's Tim Gable and Michael Weiss compete in the first Olympic tune-up of the season. Smart One Skates America right here on ABC. Again, the final score, Florida State 41, Clemson 27. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. For Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan, I'm Brad Nessler. So long from Clemson. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, continuing the tradition of excellence.
Our flag stands for all of us, every single American.
Papa and his son get together